Alright, in today's day and age, reboots seem to be a common thing. And are reboots a good thing or a bad thing? I really don't know. And the only thing you can hope from a reboot is that it's doing justice to the original source material. And specifically why I'm making this video is because Avatar, the live action series on Netflix, came out a couple of weeks ago, and I've been seeing different reactions of saying that it's amazing, but I'm seeing other reactions that are saying it's negatives. First of all, I'm gonna get into that something that the Avatar live action series does really well that other series fall short of is the artistic liberties that the show takes. Because in Avatar, the live action series, we get a more mature tone of war, but we also get to see a lot more of the Fire Nation's perspective of the war, and that's something that we do not see in the cartoon, specifically the Fire Nation side of things. That's something that they do really well, and they're able to mesh into the overall story of the live action series. And the mature tone is something to be expected because Avatar was a cartoon, it was meant for kids, but even though it's a cartoon, uh, any literally any age group can find it entertaining because it's an amazing show. That's how perfect it is. But something that the Netflix series falls short of is the character development between Team Avatar, between Aang, Katara, and Sokka. And that's because these studios decide, or whoever decides it, I don't even know if it's two studios, limit the first season to be 8 episodes. And I don't really know why that is. Because something with Team Avatar is you cannot cut out the filler from the original cartoon because these little stops that Team Avatar makes along the way to get to the North Pole, uh, not the North Pole, the Northern Water Tribe, is they're building these moments, these core moments, and learning to bond with each other. And you completely take that away from the live action series, and now you're just left with, all right, we know what's gonna happen because we already saw it from the original source material, and there really is no development between uh, the Team Avatar. And speaking of no development, the Cave of Two Lovers, you completely take out Aang and you replace Aang with Sokka, and it's now a brother and sisterly love type of a thing. You can't really do that because Aang has immediate feelings for Katara since the moment that he falls out of the iceberg, and you don't get that within this first season of the live action series of Avatar on Netflix. Another thing is that that studios in general, when making reboots, fall short of is that we're getting this character, specifically Zuko, uh, being really nice in the live action series. He's not a jerk. He's not entitled. He doesn't act like he's all that. Which he that's how he's supposed to act in the first season because we saw it in book 1 of the cartoon. And what these studios need to realize is that it's okay to give characters flaws in the beginning. We do not need to see them as the character that we loved at the end of the series. Be- yes, we want to see that character development. We want to see that story arc, that internal conflict that Zuko goes through, because that's what makes the audience fall in love with him. These character developments, these character arcs, everything that this character goes through is what makes us fall in love with him. And we don't get that when he's just nice. He's a little pushover in this first season, and just these videos aren't scripted, so it sounds like I'm really rambling, which I am, and I'm ranting. Anyways, the another thing that the studios fall short of is with these 8 episodes, everything gets super cramped into 8 episodes. And how do you do that? Specifically, that one episode in Omashu, you put King Boomy in there. You put the freedom fighters, which like Jet, Pipsqueak, the Duke, those characters in there, and you're also gonna put uh, the mechanist, the mechanist. I don't know why I said it weird, but the mechanist, right? You're gonna put all those three different story plot. Oh, you're gonna put those three different story plots into one episode, like 140-minute episode. That's not possible. Did they do it okay? Not really. I've seen people say, "Oh yeah, it's great." No, no, it wasn't. You try to put three, four different story uh arcs or plots, whatever you want to call them, into one 40-50 minute episode. You can't do that because you're not getting the proper development of these characters. And I don't know if I said it earlier, but the main problem falls down to these 8 episodes. If we got maybe like 13 episodes, I think a lot of these shows would do so much better. And I'm gonna stop right here and pause and say that I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna switch pivot points, and I'm gonna talk about the live action series on Disney Plus for Percy Jackson. That was just my rant for Avatar. So you guys, I guess, can find a different video. Although I don't know why I told you guys that. Uh, I think I should try to retain viewership because I'm a really small channel here. But anyways, that was my main point of the rant. I'm just giving off more examples. Anyways, the Percy Jackson series on Netflix, Disney Plus, is one of those series that I think requires 13 episodes, specifically because Disney Plus is like, oh, okay, we're gonna give this episode 40 minutes, but like the last 10 minutes are actually just credits. Like, then it's a 30-minute episode, and now you're squishing even more time into a 30-minute time frame rather than a 40-minute time frame in a thing of 8 episodes. So now everything becomes extra cramped, and you cannot do that because Percy Jackson's main thing. I know everybody said that, oh my god, it's a Percy Jackson we've been waiting for. No, no, it is not. You're lying to yourself. Okay, that show was garbage. That show was terrible. It was dog water. Nothing bad against the cast, but it was just the the show couldn't decide what it wanted to do because what it what I felt like it was doing, it was trying to input these fillers, these artistic liberties of the characters interacting with each other, and I don't know, like artistic liberties had things that didn't take place in the original story, but now, but somewhere in between them, there is an actual thing that happens in the actual story, and they just kind of plop it in there with no explanation and saying like, oh yeah, it's Percy Jackson because we have this fight sequence of Percy fighting Mrs. Dawes with, and then the fight's over in like 2 seconds. Like, no, Percy Jackson was a show that could have been done super well, and everybody would have loved it, and I just accepted that it was good and loved it, but actually truly loved it because it was that amazing. If they actually let the story unfold rather than telling you the story of, all right, yeah, I think at this point we this everything here in this book happened, and we're gonna make one character tell the other two characters, and like you're like, what? This isn't the way this works. No, the story needs to unfold, and then you make these artistic liberties where you give Percy 4 pearls and the solstice pass. Like, why do you even do that? You can't do that because there's 3 pearls because it gives the reader or the viewer a sense of suspense because like what's gonna happen to Percy's mom? Is she gonna get left behind in the underworld, or is Grover gonna stay behind? Annabeth's gonna stay behind? Percy's gonna stay behind? Obviously, we know what happens because we read the book. But then you're just making these stupid changes that do not need to happen, and the studios need to realize that. I guess they need to realize that this isn't okay. It's just isn't okay, and it needs to get fixed. And I guess to close off this video, and if you guys made it this far, thank you for sticking to my rant. Is these rebooted shows need to find a medium of honoring the original source material, and if you want to add artistic liberties, then do so, but do so by honoring the original source material. And don't think in the back of your little heads that whoever is making these reboots, I'm talking to you specifically, the people that are making these reboots, if this somehow ends up on your page, don't think that just because the fans of the original source material are gonna watch it, don't think that we're gonna settle for anything less. I and I was so good with this video. All right, now I'm just gonna close off this video, and if you guys made it this far, thank you for sticking with me this far through the video and my rant. I want to just, like I say, in conclusion, these studios need to realize that yes, if you make a reboot, the original fans of the original source material are gonna come and watch it because they want to see, I guess, the story again in a different format. But these studios need to do justice to the original source material. And I think that we as fans need to actually realize that these live action reboots, specifically because they're live action, these reboots need to be done justice, and we cannot settle for anything less than that, because Percy Jackson wasn't the best. And if you think it was the best thing ever, you're lying to yourself. Avatar: Last Airbender live action series wasn't the best either. You're still lying to yourself. Okay, and we're praising these shows that could have been so much better, but we're settling for what they gave us, and we have it in our heads that it's the best thing ever. Stop doing that, and as fans, we need to rally together and speak up and post, or honestly, I don't even know. We gotta make our voices heard that these projects aren't doing justice to the original source material, so that these studios can hear us, so that when the time comes when they actually make a reboot, we can actually love it because it's that good, and not because we're settling for what they gave us. Okay, if you guys have made it this far through in the video and stuck with me again, I'm gonna repeat myself. I guess like the video and subscribe, I guess. Also follow me on Instagram. It's right here. I post more on Instagram. So thumbs up.